Hey, BubbaTac here, and this is going to be my video of the Aero Precision Enhanced KeyMod Handguards. These are their Gen 2, and this is specifically their 12-inch model. These are available in 7 inches, 9 inches, 12 inches, and 15 inches. And my particular one here is 12, and its exact measurement from them is 12.63 inches, so just over 12.5 inches. So that's a good length. They are machined from 6061 T6 aluminum. That's fairly standard. Just about everybody that's making their handguards and rails out of aluminum are using that type of aluminum. And they're also available in M-LOK. This is in KeyMod, but they're available in M-LOK. I decided to go with the KeyMod because back at the end of the year during the holiday, they had all their KeyMod stuff on sale, and I went ahead and picked this one up. And I know there's a lot of arguments out there that KeyMod is dead and that M-LOK is the better platform. And although from what I've seen with all the testing that's been out there, I almost completely agree with that, and with this particular build was actually planning on doing M-LOK, a part of me still kind of likes the KeyMod, and it kind of just went hand in hand that it happened to be on sale there during the holidays by quite a big discount, so I decided to go with it. As far as weight's concerned, from the manufacturer for this 12-inch, they state that just the handguard on its own is 9.6 ounces. So I will go ahead and measure that for you now to show you whether that is correct or not. So we're zeroed out here and we're on ounces. So go ahead and set the rail on there, the handguard I mean. Now it's coming in 9.10. So let me take that off. The 9.15, 9.15. So 9.10, 9.15, we'll say 9.15 because that's the highest reading I'm getting. So that's a little bit less, nearly half an ounce less than what they're actually saying with just the handguard itself. Now when you add in the bar barrel nut assembly, that is their proprietary barrel nut assembly that you have to get from them, and when you add in the screws, there are 8 of them. I'll go ahead and throw that on there just to give you an idea. There's a little bit of packing material on here, but the shims are also attached there. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let me go ahead and turn it back on for you and give you an idea what total weight's going to be. There's the handguard, there's the bar barrel nut, and here are the screws. Remember, there's a little bit more extra weight on there just because of these packing materials I don't want to have to take off. And we're coming in at 12.45, so it's going to be a little bit less than that in total weight when you factor taking off these packing materials, which don't weigh a whole lot. But that gives you an idea of on the actual weapon how much it's all going to weigh. So you're going to be somewhere just south of 12.45, so you know, well under 12.5 ounces. And the only other main measurement that we're interested in would be its inside diameter. This is a pretty thick one. Its inside diameter, as you can see, it's uniform pretty much all the way down. Its inside diameter is 1.78 inches. So normally with these types of handguards or whatnot, a lot of the measurements you're kind of seeing out there, you know, thinking of Midwest Industries, they're about 1.5 inches inside diameter, and you have some issues putting in sound suppressors and stuff like that that you're actually recessing into the actual handguard, and you don't have a problem when you're talking about a handguard like this due to that inside diameter. And there's other manufacturers out there that are you know, quite a bit skinnier, and that does kind of go towards that weight, it being quite a bit thicker, but it keeps your hand away from the barrel that much more, so it'll be good for cooling and keeping your hand cool. And it also not only that, but it means it really feels the hand quite nicely. I mean, it really does. And I have large hands, not real big, but I have pretty good sized hands, and it feels the hand quite nicely. Now, when you're talking about a smaller statured shooter, which is going to have smaller hands, that could be an issue. But for me, it's just really comfortable. And you have KeyMod at the 3, 6, and 9 positions, as well as the fact that you have QD sling swivel mounts at 3, 6, and 9 positions. There are others that have you know, 7 sections of KeyMod, but in this particular case you only have them at that 3, 6, and 9 positions. And for the most part, most of the components that I'm going to add to this are just going to be taking advantage of those locations, so I really didn't need the other ones anyways. In their place you have vent holes, so you're going to get quite a lot of nice ventilation with this particular handguard. Talking about the upper rail here, this is a monolithic upper rail, and there are some segments, some manufacturers that just have segments of rail at the front and back. In this particular case, it is all the way across the top. I prefer them that way. I like the way they look that way to me, but they do add a little bit of extra weight. And to help save on some of that weight, as you can see here, this has been scalloped out all along the edges here, so that's a nice touch. And then these have been machined down here on these top portions of the rail, which also adds towards saving weight. And as you can also see, these have been cut all the way through, drilled out all the way through, which also adds in cooling, giving you more ventilation as well. But it's also nice that it has that feature because it does lessen the weight. You're going to have to be aware of that when you're talking about your gas tube. In my particular case, I'm getting one of those Spikes Tactical melanite ones, so it's actually going to be a darker one, a black one, so you won't get that two-tone look, but that could be a cool look. You could be into that if you want that stainless steel to show through there. It's just something to keep in mind. Additionally, there are serrations all the way down through here, and I believe that's supposed to just add grip and texture, but it also may have some weight savings as well, because it actually machines into that, and it really does grip nicely. You do feel it, and I do like that, and that was one of the main things that drew me to these. I remember when I saw the first video I saw on YouTube talking about them, about the first generation, second generation. That's one of the things I was instantly drawn to, was how nice and how useful this texturing right here looks, these serrations that have a forward tilt to them. You can see you got your A for Aero Precision right there, and right there machine embossed in there, so that's really nice. The way these actually lock up is using a proprietary BAR barrel nut assembly, and that actually threads on to your standard threaded upper receiver. If you use one of their M4E1 style that actually already has it on there, this would just slip right over the existing portion that's already machined into that upper. But if you have just a standard, you're going to need their BAR barrel nut. So mine actually is just a standard, so I had to get one of those. And the way that interfaces is it has 8 screws all the way around in pairs of 2. And I really like that design. If you do them in sequence with each other, like you're supposed to, torque them down in a pattern, kind of like you were doing the lug nuts on your vehicle, it should all torque down very nicely onto the barrel nut and give you a nice symmetrical hold all the way around, which is what you're kind of looking for. And to aid you in doing that, if you can see here, these are the machined in anti-rotational tabs, and there's some more down here. It's very nice that it's not just this tab that sticks out the back, that's actually something machined into the piece. That's very nice. And as you can see here, there's a slant here. This is actually going to envelope slightly over your existing upper, so that's a nice touch. It's going to make everything look real nice and blended together, and I really like that idea. These are from a profile, if you can see there, this is a little on the square side, but you can kind of see some corners right here. I really like that though. I think it creates something real nice to hold on to. There's a couple other manufacturers that use a similar looking profile, and I just like the aesthetics of it. In general, I really like the products that Aero Precision offers, and as far as the price of this particular unit, with the bar barrel nut that you're going to need if you're using a standard threaded upper receiver, It's going to be $40 on its own. If you actually buy it with the rail, it will end up costing you 20 bucks, so that's nice that you get a discount on it. And then the rail itself is normally selling for between $160, $170 with the bar barrel nut, I should say. They're cheaper if you don't need that, if you have one of their M4E1 style uppers. For me, they were on sale during the holidays, so I actually ended up getting this with the bar barrel nut for only $125 shipped. This was my review of the Aero Precision Enhanced KeyMod 12-inch handguards. Thanks for watching.